The sea calls us. Beautiful, mysterious, we are drawn by the wonders and dangers hidden beneath its waves. What is fact and what is fiction? One thing is certain, we'll never know by staying at home. The Pacific is a huge ocean dotted with small islands. In the heart of this big ocean lie the island nations of Micronesia, including Truk, graveyard of over 100 great warships and airplanes, and Yap, unusual island of stone money and manta rays. Distances that took a steamship weeks are now covered by an airplane in hours, but it is still a tired group of adventurers who arrive in Yap.
Hello, I'm Guy Seehee, the leader of this expedition and your host for this undersea adventure. Each of us is here for a different reason.
To dive and explore some of the best coral reefs in the South Pacific, to meet new people and learn about new ways of life, to push ourselves to new limits, and to search for the lost treasure. Some of us have only a few dives under our weight belts. Others have made thousands of dives. Our first dives in Yap will help us become familiar with new dive buddies and a new dive spot. But these are not ordinary dives. The underwater sights of Yap are among the most exciting in the world, and we waste no time before getting into the water. We float along in the strong current, past colorful hard and soft corals. We are surprised by a moray eel watching us from behind a branch of coral. A small nudibranch eats plant life, just like its relative, the common garden slug. In shallow water, a sea turtle. And everywhere there are anemones, with colorful clownfish living among their deadly tentacles. Anemones use these tentacles to sting and kill small fish for food. But clownfish are somehow safe from the anemone's sting. The reefs of Yap are home to many strange and colorful fish. After our first successful day of diving in Yap, we enjoy a wonderful dinner of local foods.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and again, on behalf of the staff and the management of the Monterey Bay Hotel, we welcome you to Yap.
Our host is Captain Bill Acker. Bill is the owner of the beautiful Manta Ray Bay Hotel, our diving center in Yap.
I go a little further back in
After dinner, Bill shares a strange secret with our group. he is actually the grandson of Captain Olaf.
And it so happens last night I had a dream. And then in this dream, my grandfather came and spoke to me.
Bill presents our group with a gift. Pieces of a puzzle. A puzzle that looks strangely like a treasure map. Where is Captain Olaf's treasure? Every day and every dive, we learn more about the sea and about ourselves. Now, the tide and wind are finally right for us to reach one of our goals. To swim with one of the most beautiful creatures in the sea and among the most exciting in the world. I am lucky to meet one. Only a few exist, and it's rare to get so close to one. The huge Pacific manta ray. Strong tides force food-rich water from close to shore out to the manta ray's feeding grounds. Although they are huge creatures, manta rays eat only plankton, the smallest animals and plants in the sea. Opening their mouths wide, the mantas suck plankton from the ocean water. Yap, famous for its stone money, has much to offer us. Its gentle people share their ancient culture with new friends.
These are yam, the swamp taro, the yellow one, and the breadfruit.
Breadfruit, taro, spiny lobster, and land crabs. We enjoy new foods from the land and the sea. Everything tastes great.
Yeah, that's it.
Some island customs surprise us. Although they are huge creatures, they are not as dangerous as they look. But keep your fingers away from their mouths. They chewed many islanders. Perhaps it's not as pleasant as we thought. We will carry away more than just photographs and gifts from our visit to Yap. We will carry with us friendship and understanding. Once again, our airplane crosses thousands of miles in just hours. From Yap to Guam, and then on to Truk. Through skies much safer than those of 50 years ago. Today, the remains of a terrible war lie scattered across the bottom of Truk Lagoon. But this graveyard, now a beautiful underwater garden, causes adventurers to journey thousands of miles to experience the most exciting wreck diving on Earth. Our floating home for the next week is a strong, beautiful ship called the SS Thorfinn. But wasn't that the name of Captain Olaf's ship? The ship he was sailing when he disappeared? And what about Captain Lance? There's a story that he too is a grandson of Captain Olaf's. And those puzzle pieces that we got in Yap, what do they mean? But there's no time to think of that now. It's time to dive. Over 60 large warships were lost in the clear blue waters of Truk Lagoon. One wreck that is well known to divers is the cargo vessel Yamagiri Maru. The Yamagiri is huge. Even though it lies on its side, the ship almost reaches the surface of the lagoon. You can't imagine what the outside of the Yamagiri used to look like because it is covered with coral. To see the most exciting part of the wreck, you have to dive deep inside its cargo holds. Scattered about the number 5 hold, at a depth of over 100 feet, lies a deadly cargo. The largest artillery shells ever made. These shells, each weighing over 3,000 pounds, could travel more than 50 miles. After swimming so close to these big shells, it feels good to swim out of the wreck. Not far from the Yamagiri lies the ghost of another huge warship. The wreck of the Hokimaru lies in 140 feet of seawater. The Hokimaru was also a cargo vessel. The ship is filled with interesting sights, but we have to dive deep inside its holds to see them. Once inside, we find the remains of an old tractor, once used to clear land. Close to the tractor lie dozens of deadly 100-pound bombs. We must be careful not to get too close. On the other side of the lagoon, we dive a large warship called the Nippo. Today, the Nippo rests in over 150 feet of water. The Nippo's main job was to carry large amounts of fresh water to bases in the Pacific where water was scarce. But the ship carried many other kinds of cargo as well. On deck, we find a small, 2-person tank. It's still easy to recognize, but we don't realize how small it is until we swim closer. Because it rests so deep, the Nippo is not covered with coral, but it is still one of our most exciting dives in Truk Lagoon. For many of us, the best dive in Truk Lagoon is the wreck of the Fujikawa Maru. The Fujikawa is so thickly covered with underwater life that it's like a living forest. Everywhere we turn, we see strange creatures. This small sea slug looks different from any underwater animal we've ever seen. Beautiful anemones cover the side of the ship. But deep inside the wreck, there are hidden treasures. The Fujikawa carried airplanes and spare parts. Scattered in the holds, we find propellers and giant gas containers, even an airplane engine. And in the forward hold, we discover a Zero fighter plane in excellent condition. But all work and no play is not good. So let's enjoy life. Get plenty of rest. and eat lots of pizza. We need the strength. We've found all the pieces of our puzzle, and at last, we are ready to dive for Captain Olaf's treasure. The beautiful passenger ship Rio de Janeiro is one of the largest shipwrecks in Truk Lagoon. We follow the ship back toward its huge propellers, and there we find the famous treasure.